Welcome to Middlesex County. I'm Michelle Brown, Middlesex County Economic Development and Tourism Director, and we are honored to share with you today our celebration of Cook's Corner Revitalization Project. I know many of you all in the audience have seen much larger projects throughout the state, but Cook's Corner Revitalization Project is our version of Arlington's Amazon. That's how big the project, Cook's Corner, is to us. I see lots of faces out there in the audience today that have contributed to this project. I have a sense of an excitement and anticipation to start the Cook's Corner Revitalization, along with a lot of our other partners. And now I'd like to introduce the chairman of Middlesex County Board of Supervisors, Chip Holt. Chip is serving his second year as chairman. He serves as a director of emergency services. Chip is a member of the Joint Budget and Finance Committee of the schools, serves on the Middlesex Water Authority, as well as the Airport Committee. Chip and his wife, Jean, are retired and reside in Deltaville. Chip?
Thank you, Michelle. I've been given a very few minutes to cover right much territory, so I'm going to try to have some good opening comments and some good closing comments and keep them close together as possible. First, I'd like to recognize the dignitaries we have in attendance. Governor Northam, Secretary Ball, Secretary Ring, Delegate Hodges, and Senator McDougal. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to celebrate this wonderful time here in Middlesex County. Now I'd like to recognize our partners in this endeavor, and I'd like to call them by group. If you're in that group, if you raise your hand and keep your hand up until we're done. First off, Middlesex County Supervisors and Administration. The Economic Development Authority. The Middlesex Foundation. The Middlesex Water Authority. The school board. And the Cook's Corner partners. Thank you all for your contributions to this project. This is truly, wait for it, transformational project. We had it rehearsed, but it just wasn't cued very well. This is a transformational project for Middlesex County. First of what I hope will be a number of economic development projects here in our county. A rising tide raises all ships, and the tide is indeed coming in here in Middlesex. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Brian Ball, Secretary of Commerce and Trade. He was appointed to this position in April of 2018 after serving the Northam administration as Special Advisor for Economic Development and Deputy Secretary of Commerce and Trade. Before joining the Northam administration, he was an attorney with Williams Mullen, where he was very active in practice as well as handling the complex issues involved with running a law firm. Secretary Ball graduated with high distinction from the University of Virginia, where he was an Eccles Scholar and a member of Phi Beta Kappa. In talking just a minute ago, we were actually classmates but didn't know it. His law degree is also from UVA. He and his wife Jennifer have 2 children and reside in Richmond. Secretary Ball.
Thank you, Chip, for that very warm introduction. We were classmates, and you mentioned that Jennifer and I reside in Richmond. We're also blessed to have a place on Moores Creek, so I know this road pretty daggone well. And you are, this is a big deal. I mean, this is a big deal, so it's a very exciting day for all of us to be here. We're excited to think about the future possibilities that lay ahead as a result of this for your community, and we know that you've been hard at work to make this plan here a reality. Many state agencies have been involved in this, working alongside with you to bring this plan to fruition. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize a few of the leaders who've been involved with that. We have Susan Dewey with the Virginia Housing Development Authority right here. Eric Johnson with the Department of Housing and Community Development. Jewel Bronow, who's our commissioner at the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, has also been very involved, not able to be here, but I wanted to give her a shout out as well. When we look at how to improve the quality of lives in our communities and create a sustainable community, we know that we need strong infrastructure, business development, you need entrepreneurial growth, a strong workforce, and safe and accessible housing for everyone that lives here. And that's what you're doing with this project here. And we're thrilled to be here today to celebrate this work you've done and will continue to be doing ahead into the future. I believe this project will transform your community, and we at the state are very honored to be able to work with you collaboratively on this project. Partnerships are the key to all success in this area, and we do this not only across state agencies but also across secretariats in our cabinet. And at this time I'd like to welcome my partner in this innovative project, our Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry, Bettina Ringup. And we both have the very distinct privilege of working for our governor, and she is going to introduce our governor. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you, Michelle and Chairman Holt, for the warm welcome to Middlesex. We are so happy to be here in your community. And Secretary Ball, thank you for that kind introduction. We have a lot of fun working together, and I'm a Hokie and he's a Who, so we always have some fun when it's football season, and now with March Madness. Unfortunately, both of our teams are winning right now. But I'm really, truly thrilled to be here with federal and state officials, knowing that we have continued leadership at the state level for these programs, and with your local officials here in Middlesex, and with Middlesex County Economic Development Authority, with Ryan and with Jay of Cook's Corners Partners. Thank you and congratulations to you, Secretary Ball and his team, and all of the other partners who have helped to make today possible. I'd especially like to recognize Michelle Brown, Middlesex County's Economic Development Authority. She has played a central role in this project, and it's one to be very, very proud of. Can you hear me okay? I'm hearing a little, step back a little bit perhaps, a little better. Today is a day to not only celebrate this project, but to be able to celebrate the many partnerships that got us to this point. And I'm pleased that one of our agencies, the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, has been a partner in this. And I would like to just quickly recognize our Deputy Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry, Brad Copenhaver. And our team that's here with us from VDAX. We have Michelle Bridges, who's been very involved with this. Emily Flippo. Stephanie Agee does a great job with our marketing and development program. And Chantel Taylor. Agriculture is Virginia's largest industry, and we actually have an impact of $70 billion. We're responsible for the direct employment of about 334,000 jobs in the Commonwealth. Tourism is our second industry, and forestry our third industry. And when you think about the role that they play here in your community, it's huge, and the role that agritourism is going to play in this project. And we know, as Travis Croxton can tell you, that aquaculture is agriculture. And aquaculture is big business here in Virginia. Shellfish aquaculture alone represents $60 million in farm gate sales, with businesses like Rappahannock Oyster Company helping to make Virginia the top oyster producer on the East Coast. That's something that we're all very proud of. And when you look at how agriculture really permeates our communities and our economy, especially in rural communities across Virginia, it's a big deal. And there are places where tourists really flock and follow our craft beverage industry, and especially when they're using local products. We're really happy and excited about that. And so we see that happening in our communities, especially our coastal areas, where people are also coming out to enjoy water to table, farm to table, restaurants, and here is just going to be a great example of that. We see that agriculture can really be a part of the revitalization of our communities across Virginia, that it can have this effect that can be a game changer in a small rural community. And I'm excited about the potential of this. This project is just, it really truly represents strong collaboration and looking at ways that we can work sort of holistically with all that we're trying to accomplish here in Virginia. And it truly takes visionary leadership to make that happen. And that's why we're fortunate to have a leader that really cares about rural communities and rural economic development. He also cares about oysters. And he can tell you more about that. But we're fortunate to have a governor that's a native of the Virginia Eastern Shore, so he truly has a history with oysters and with aquaculture. He's a graduate of VMI, a U.S. Army veteran, a pediatric neurologist, business owner, and as we know, a former state senator as well as lieutenant governor. So please join me in welcoming and introducing our 73rd governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam.
Please stay seated. Good afternoon. Please sit down. You all probably needed to stretch your legs a little bit anyway. Bettina, thank you very much for the kind introduction. And just as Bettina said, agriculture, aquaculture is our #1 industry in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So we're very proud of that. But thank you for your leadership, and thanks for the kind introduction. I will tell you, it is good to be in Middlesex County. As Bettina said, I grew up just across the bay over in Onancock, Virginia, and it took me a long number of years before I actually drove this way. We always used to come over to Deltaville every year to haul our boat out and just have such fond memories, and just the people in this area remind me so much of where I grew up, very genuine, hard-working people. So thank you all for all you do. Thanks for coming out today. Secretary Ball, it is good to have you back from overseas. In all seriousness, we do travel around the globe, really promoting Virginia's economy and communicating with businesses and offering them everything we can do to drive our economy here in Virginia. So we appreciate you making a special trip back. I know you just flew in from overseas, and so kind of our secretary. He didn't announce this, but I will. After this ceremony here, he will be opening his home up to all you would like to eat and drink. So welcome to Secretary Ball. I'll tell you what, it is good to see my colleagues from the General Assembly, Ryan McDougall and Delegate Hodges, Keith Hodges, just do such great work for your area, and I appreciate all you do for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so many people have been recognized, and I think we need to re-emphasize that this is a team effort. Nobody can do this on their own, and it takes good people coming together, whether it be the Board of Supervisors, the school board, the economic development partnerships in these areas. So to all of you that are here today, I thank you. We see a new future for Cook's Corner, Middlesex County, in this region through the wide-ranging revitalization plan that's going to transform the Cook's Corner area. Today we're announcing an important part of that plan, a new brewery, restaurant, and commissary kitchen. This project will renovate and reuse old school buildings, including the former African-American St. Clair Walker Schoolhouse. I actually have another flag to add to those in just a little bit. The schoolhouse renovated will be renovated and become a new focal point and new gathering space in this community. This is being done by Cook Corner Partners, LLC, a joint venture by Travis Croxton of Rappahannock Oyster Company and Jay Shaw of Shaman Hotels. They're committing over the next 3 years to invest $2 million and create 20 new jobs in the new commissary kitchen and brewery portions of the project. They're also committing to source more than half of all their agriculture inputs, including seafood, meat, produce, and hops from Virginia, totaling nearly $600,000. They'll get state help through a grant from the Governor's Agriculture and Forestry Industries Development Program. We also refer to that as APHID, which was created to help ag and forestry-based businesses that create jobs and new markets. This portion of the Cook's Corner Revitalization Project builds on a number of other components to boost the region's vibrancy, including building affordable housing units, converting another vacant school building to a special events center, renovating a gymnasium and county offices, and building a nature trail with signage commemorating the region's African American heritage. My administration continues to work to build up economic success across Virginia, but particularly in our rural communities. These projects are coming to life thanks to a variety of grants and the hard work of people here today and throughout this community. And I want to tell you today that of all the things you hear and read, Virginia is doing very well. Our economy is booming right now. Our unemployment rate in Virginia is at 2.8%. It's the lowest it's been in a number of years. But the point I want to make, and this is why I'm so proud of areas like Middlesex and rural Virginia. If you go to the Eastern Shore, where I'm from, or right here in Middlesex, or the South Side, or the Southwest, our unemployment rate is not at 2.8%. So we still have a lot of work to do, but I am convinced that if we work together, we can make great things happen. So we must continue to focus on building strong, sustainable communities, and we know that we cannot create a strong economy without a strong workforce, affordable housing, business development, education, and so much more. And one last thing I will close on, and I know Senator McDougal and Delegate Hodges are committed to this. There are still far too many pockets in the Commonwealth of Virginia that don't have access to broadband. And if we're going to attract and build businesses in 2019, we must have universal broadband in Virginia. So if there are areas that don't have it, with collaborative efforts, bipartisan support, doing things the Virginia way in Richmond, we want to make sure that all areas in Virginia have access to broadband. So thank you all for having us here. Thank you for the beautiful weather. It's a wonderful spring day. And if I could to have Travis and Jay step forward, I have a brief presentation. I said that we had one more flag to join, and I'm a man of my word. So this is a flag that we have proudly flown over our state capital in Richmond. And I hope you all can find a place to proudly display it here in Middlesex County. And thanks for all you're doing. And I just want to let you know if there's anything we can do in Richmond. I speak on behalf of my office. I speak for our General Assembly. We are there for you. We want to do everything that we can to help businesses grow in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you all for coming out today. I don't have anything prepared, but just wanted to kind of comment on this project, which began just looking at the building and seeing the beauty and history of it, and wanting to preserve that, and then thinking about how could we tie it in with everything else going on in the county. And I will say that you guys are blessed to have incredible leadership with the county. Every time we've had any questions or issues, they come up to how can we help you. I was actually riding around to look at figuring out another facility for a seafood company that we chanced upon this location. And then I would also like to say that everyone with the state, all the offices have really kind of said, how can we make this happen? It's kind of amazing that it's all come together. We're excited to work with the local community to preserve that history and heritage. And I don't know if everyone's aware, with the old St. Clair Walker building was actually built and paid by the local African American community by themselves, because at that time there was no help. And so they built that together, and they taught vocational and agricultural training over there for many decades. And we want to definitely resurrect that with what we're doing here, which is training our young people from the county on culinary arts, forestry arts, agriculture, everything we can train them so that they can leave here and get better jobs and learn, come back, or they can actually have great jobs. They can stay here the whole time. So that's really everything happens for a reason, and we kind of had this idea, and then had a call to meet Mr. Shaw in Richmond, who was doing a brewery project, and unfortunately for him at the time, but I think fortunately for all of us, zone issues or whatever, and so we started talking and realized that we could actually do his vision of the brewery down here, tied in with the vision that we had of saving that school, and also the fact that we could actually increase tax revenue for everyone, sales revenue for everyone by bringing in an event center. We have people come to our restaurant in our for weddings or rehearsals, but there's no event center nearby, so we're tired of sending them out of the county. So now we can keep them in the county, keep them here, which means that they can actually spend more money at other businesses nearby. And like you mentioned, rising tide lifts all boats. That's our goal. And so it's going to be a lot of hard work, but I think with everyone supporting us, we can get it done, and really excited about the future. And really encourage the community. If you have any questions, seek us out, but we're definitely really excited about working with this specific partnership in the community to get some more of the history of the school, put that in there in the building, and really tell the story so it's never lost of what that school did and what it means to the community. So, thank you all.
Whenever you have to follow individuals like you've just spoken, is always a little difficult. So I'm just going to add a couple things. And I think when we come together for events like this to recognize and celebrate progress going forward, it's always important to think it doesn't happen from the government. Here are two gentlemen who came together with the idea just as they were driving around looking for other opportunities and located it. They came together with members of the community who were concerned about preserving our history and making sure we remember from whence we came as we're going forward to the next step. And then they linked arms with the state and federal government and the county to come up with a plan and how to fund that plan. That is the true definition of a team, the true definition of entrepreneurship that we have here, not only in Middlesex, but in Virginia, and the true definition of how we come together focusing on the future while we're preserving our history and not forgetting our past. This is the microcosm of that, and we are really excited about this new venture, and we know that it's going to be a tremendous asset. I also do want to say, Governor, you opened it up, so I'm not going to pass up broadband. And Bettina and I did a little event across the river in Warsaw just the other week of another economic development. Broadband is absolutely vital to rural Virginia. We hear so much about development and focus on new opportunities, new jobs in urban areas. Broadband is the key to that in rural Virginia. People can work from their homes, they can have small businesses, they can take advantage of what the economy has to offer if they have broadband. I know you have till tomorrow night at midnight to tweak a few things, so I'm going to put in a plug right here. I'm hearing some rumors about a few things you might be funding. We added about $15 million to that broadband initiative. Maybe can move a few extra dollars over into that so we can do a few more. Atlantic Broadband is right across the street. You can catch it as you drive out. They're the one that is providing the service here. So we do need to do more. It is absolutely vital to the entire rural part of Virginia, but certainly to the Middle Peninsula and Northern Neck. But thank y'all, as we recognize everybody on the stand, and Michelle and Chip, y'all did a tremendous job in bringing together the team, and Matt, making sure everybody stayed focused. But everybody here, this really is a community event and a community experience and a community celebration of what we can do when we come together. So thank each of y'all for being here, and thank you for what you have done to get it to here. And there's a lot of hard work to get to the final step. So thank you in advance for what you're going to do over the next months. And Ryan, my 7-year-old Travis, he's got another Ryan, and I always mess that up. But Travis and Jay, my daughter, loves oysters. And when we're always coming this way, when we cross the bridge, she's asking, where can we stop and eat? So we're really looking forward to being able to have a few. We know Marwa's over there, but she'd rather sit inside when it's during the summer. So this will be a better opportunity. So thank you.
Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Cook's Corner in my home of Middlesex County. Delighted to be with you today, and Governor, thank you, Secretary Ring, Secretary Ball, our colleagues over in the Senate, Senator McDougal. We work very closely together to get things done in Richmond. It's a pleasure working with you. But I would like to especially thank each and every one of you for coming out today. Members of our supervisors, the EDA, everyone here, and a special thank you to Travis and to Jay. You know, these two guys, I don't think I've ever met anyone quite like these guys. And the vision that they have for the Cook's Corner project, we know it's going to work because of their vision. We know it will be something great because of their vision. I've worked with them and seen what they can do, and I know that this will be something great. I was talking to someone this morning. I actually left the pharmacy to come over here and to work. To come over here and to speak with you and to be with you today. And they said, where is Cook's Corner? And I had to tell them where Cook's Corner is, but I will tell you, this will put Cook's Corner on the map. This project will. I truly believe that. And most of you know that economic development, it is my #1 initiative here in the Middle Peninsula in the 98th District. And I truly believe that these economic development initiatives and projects such as this, they are critical in bringing revenue to our localities, in easing the tax burden on the constituents, and providing the much needed jobs, especially for our youth. I have 2 daughters. The first thing when I came into office, I was looking at our students leaving. We're educating them, and they're leaving and they're not coming home. I graduated from West Point. I'm probably one of 5 in my class that still actually live in the district. And it's because we don't have the jobs needed to keep our children and our youth here. This is critical, and I truly believe these economic development initiatives will help that. Broadband, actually, Governor, Senator McDougal, you opened that up. This is something that I've been looking at for quite a while. And moving forward with the PamunkeyNet initiative to bring broadband, which is critical, not only for the jobs and economic development, for schools and education, so our children can have access to quality broadband at home, where they can actually access the schools and the virtual schools. It is critical for the education of our youth. Now, we're very proud of the history that's associated with this project. With the St. Clair Walker School, the African American school, it's part of our heritage, and we are so proud and extremely proud of preserving that history while also providing economic development opportunities. So thank you for preserving that history and working with our community. Now, this truly is a day to celebrate. As the Governor said, Secretary Ring said, it's a day to celebrate because of the partnerships that have been established. Truly believe the partnerships between the Commonwealth, between Middlesex County, the EDA, the schools, the foundation, those are the things that make this work. And they are so important to make this work. It is a day that we need to celebrate, and congratulations, Travis, Jay, thank you for commitment, thank you for your vision, and God bless each and every one of you.
Good afternoon. My name is Janice Stroud-Becks, and I have the distinct honor of being here today and of working for USDA Rural Development. And we are so delighted to be part of this project. This project to rural development, and the reason that rural development is a critical part of it, is about water. At its core, water is one of the most basic needs in life. In May of 2017, Rural Development received a letter from the Commonwealth's Three Rivers Health District. It outlined the fact that over 90% of the existing drill wells were not constructed to current standards. Many of them tested positive for chloroform bacteria. These health concerns have been here for decades. And what they've done is they've limited the economic viability of this beautiful area. Here, on the banks of the Chesapeake Bay, a place of stunning beauty, abundant natural resources, is an area where people had to apologize for their water. Worse than that, the lack of clean water limited business growth and impacted the community's ability for housing and basic infrastructure as schools. Water is a basic need for life, and it's a basic need for community revitalization. So we are proud to be part of this. We are here because of the leaders in this community. We are here as a federal agency combined with state agencies and great local leaders, and it's that partnership that's going to lead to the revitalization of Cook's Corner and Middlesex County. I look forward to the great things that this area will do. Water is a basic need, as I said before, and a resource to be managed. It's the rural areas that protect water, renewable energy, along with our food and our fiber. So thank you for allowing rural development to be a part of this, and I look forward to seeing everything that's going to happen in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janice. Well, I'm Matt Walker, and I get the distinct honor of thanking you again. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't heard the word transformational enough today, let me say it a couple more times. It is indeed a transformational project for this county. This is our version of Amazon, right here in Little River City, Middlesex County. This is a big deal for us. This is, to my knowledge, the first and only governor's announcement Middlesex County ever had. So Governor Northam, thank you for coming today. Thank you very much. Now, Michelle and I both have been given strict orders by our EDA boards and our Board of Supervisors. This cannot be the last governor's announcement. So, before I get on script, that Michelle told me, now here's your speech, stay with that. I want to give a special thank you to Michelle Brown, our Economic Development and Tourism Director. If it wasn't for her, you know what I'm going to say. If it wasn't for her, we'd be standing on a flatbed trailer and having barbecue. Because I'm from North Carolina, I don't know any better. So you're on a nice stage, and you have what, flounder, what is it? Ceviche, what he said. So this is a much classier event because of her, and thank you very much for pulling this together. Awesome job. Thank you all for being here. And to all of our guests from the state, it's my job to encourage you to stay longer and spend more money than you can afford before you leave. All right, now I'll get on script. Because I'm standing between you and libations and victuals over there, or excuse me, hors d'oeuvres. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today to share the Middlesex County's celebration of the development of Cook's Corner. Special thank you to Bethpage Campground and ELS Corporation for donating this tent, stage, chairs, and tables. Michelle was able to get them to do that. Thank you. I want to thank, yep. Well, they're a very important part of our community and a very large business in our community that brings tourism not only to this to the state. We get a lot of folks from Maryland, but also to the county, of course. Next, I'd like to thank Christ Church School. Jeb Byers, our headmaster with Christ Church School, is here somewhere. I'm looking for him. There he is. They donated the bus. I think the governor and several of y'all are, yes? Some of y'all are going to have a tour. And I'd like to recognize Rappahannock Oyster Company for donating the libations and the food for this event. Thank you very much. Last but not least, I'd like to thank our guys with IT here in the county, Kevin and Glenn, and I'd like to thank our guys with Buildings and Grounds. They've pulled an extra Herculean effort to get all this set up. Dwayne, Ed, and I think I see Jim and John. Thank you, fellas. Now I'm standing between you and food, so let's eat and let's celebrate this transformational project. Thank you for being here.